The chapter in Liyue. Fully prepared, the pair now makes their way to Liyue, the nation of contracts. They traverse the lands between inhabit upon a statue of the Geo Archon, and like with the animal statue, the power of Geo is transferred to the traveler, giving them the ability to now freely manipulate the element of Geo. They arrive at Liyue Harbor before the rite of descension, so they see the sights of the town before it begins. While becoming acquainted with several townspeople, they get a chance to meet a woman by the name of Atsuko? Okay, Atsuko is adjusting to a life in Liyue Harbor and explains that she's from a land known as Inazuma, which is ruled by the Electro Archon. She speaks of the strict nature of the country and states that she left because she wanted to be free from its suffocating nature. After seeing the town a little more, the pair makes it to the rite of descension. A woman oversees the rite, and they come to learn that their name is Ningguang and that she is a member of the Liyue Qixing, who are the businessmen and women who controls the matter within Liyue. Liyue is a nation of contracts and is ruled by such business elites. The rite of descension is the time in which the Archon of Geo named Rex Lapis and the previously known as Morax, which is where the word Mora comes from, will arrive and make the people of Liyue aware of the commercial affairs of the city. It appears that the dragon appears, but he has fallen down to his death. Which looked like to be great omen. Ningguang concludes that Rex Lapis has been killed. He orders the guards to seal the exit. Afraid of being deemed suspects in the murder, the pair flee from the scene, but when they're close to escaping guards, their path are blocked by the guards. There's nowhere to run, so they have to fight. An orange-haired man comes there and helps the girls out with his dashing powers. The orange-haired man says his name is Child, which he admits is an alias. He asks the pair if they have met a person named Signora and reveals that, like her, he is one of the 11 Fatui Harbingers. Well, he is straightforward. Unlike Signora, though, he offers his assistant. He brings the pair to the Northland Bank, a bank in Liyue Harbor owned by the Fatui, so that they won't be over here. Child tells the pair that they should head to an area in Liyue Nation known as Juyong Kars and seek out one of the Liyue's Adepti. The Adepti, much like the Four Winds of Mondstadt, are beasts who are protectors of Liyue. But unlike the Four Winds, they are actually contractually bound to protect Liyue, and so they must. Charles proclaims that meeting one of them will allow the pair a sigil permission talisman that were created during the Archon War, an ancient war between gods. These talismans channel divine power, and it will allow the duo to meet with the Adepti. So the pair make their way to Julian Cars. The pair meets the Adeptess named Mooncarver, who was surprised to see a sigil of permission in this day and age, as they are apparently rare. It appears, however, that the Millelith, the guard of Liyue Harbor, followed the pair, and after dealing with the soldiers, the traveler and Paimon are able to explain the events of Rex Lapis' passing to Mooncarver. Though it's pretty pissed about the chieftain essentially allowing Rex Lapis to assassinate it, then placing suspicious on the traveler. So he tells the traveler to visit 3 other Adepti Mountain Shapers, Cloud Retainer, and the Guardian Yaksha, to explain the events to them as well. The pair first meets Mountain Shaper, who is also sacrificed, surprised to see a sigil permission. He says that he will be investigating this matter. The pair then meets leaves to meet the next Adepti as the mountain shaper promises to meet up with all of them. Later, the pair performs a ritual and traverses a domain to meet with Cloud Retainer. Everything is once again explained to her, and she's convinced to do otherwise, and also wishes to meet the other Adepti, Shao. Paimon meet with the guardian Yaksha, whose name is Shao. Shao lives on top of an inn called the Wangshu Inn. He's very standoffish, and it takes some convincing, and by convincing I mean feeding him his favorite food. To get him to speak with the pair, Shao promises to meet with the other Adepti, and with that every Adepti and the Moon Carver wanted notified has been contacted. The pair returns to his child and tells him everything that happened. Child explains that since the pair have been gone, the Qingxi have declared that nobody can pay their respects to the Geo Archon, which is essentially a guard's corpse. But Child states that he can help, but needs to meet with someone. The pair decides to use this opportunity to get to the Tefat Guide, Volume 2, which contents are over the Liuwei at the bookstore to learn more about the region. The store no longer sells the book, however, and informs the pair that Cheng, the ninth, a book collector in a place called Qingsa Village, may have it. A boy overhears the conversation about the book collector and inquires as to whether he would have a novel entitled Legend of the Shattered Halberd as well. He explains that his name is Shincho and that he's a literature, an art enthusiast. We get it. You are a weeb. He asks if he can travel with the pair to go meet with Chang, and the three head to the Qingsa village. They arrive at Chang's residence and ask him about the books. Chang explains that a mine known as the Chasm was recently sealed off, and that because of this, his mining business started to go under the Fatui. Then the Fatui took advantage of this and began taking advantage of him. He had to sell his whole book collection in order to repay them as well, but one day still wouldn't take his copy of Everybody Poop. Shinshaw and Chang discussed the Halberd book series and how Volume 6 is essentially rare and that it's actually the one book that Chang really kept. Just then a man appears to collect on the debt to the future. It's clear that he's trying to cheat Chang and Shinshaw wants to help him out. Shinshaw declares he's a Guha clan disciple, a clan that was thought to be long since gone. The man doesn't believe him but leaves at the threat. Anyways, Chang then hands over the book to Xingqiu, which clearly at the end of his rope, Xingqiu leaves and immediately begins the road to read the book, but promises to return the kindness that Chang showed him. So the traveler and Paimon set out to help Chang. Just then, the man from earlier returns with friends to try and teach Xingqiu a lesson, but are swiftly dealt with. Xingqiu is actually very skilled in combat, and after defeating the men, they mentioned that they were working for a man named Gentry, Maosai. And Xingqiu suggests that the traveler and Paimon go and investigate the man, while he reads the book instead. After following the lead, the pair lands in Maosai is colluding with Fatui to scam Sang Qianqiu, who again appears to be just reading a book, hears what's going on from the pair and gives them a letter to give to the Fuan Commerce Guild, a powerful economic force in Lua Harbor due to their good trading. After the guild, they go to the warehouse after buying all the ore. Even the remaining ore that Chang has, the pair goes to the designated warehouse and meets with Sencho. Their Mausa and the Fatui appears at the warehouse to get the ore, and the try to take them out afterwards. The traveler in Paimon learns that Sencho is actually the heir to the Fuan Commerce Guild and has been working his magic behind the scenes. This whole time he hates injustice and is basically a superhero. You don't like that superhero? Sencho makes Mosai pay 3 times the market value for the ore and return to Chang. They do in the process. Chang gives the pair the Fight Guide, Volume 2, while not realizing how important Sencho was and helping it appears Sencho will continue helping others even though it's never acknowledged.